Welcome to Conservative Viewpoint, where the truth always matters. Your hosts are Charlie the Country Conservative and Brendan Statler from The Brendan Statler Show. Now on with the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Conservative Viewpoint. I'm your host, Charlie, the Country Conservative.
And I'm Brendan Statler of The Brendan Statler Show.
Today we're diving headfirst into a raging sea of American politics. So buckle up, because we're about to navigate through some stormy waters of ideology, policy, and battle for the soul of our nation. So my fellow conservatives, we find ourselves at the crossroad of a pivotal moment in our nation's history. The winds of change blow fiercely, threatening to uproot the very foundation we hold dear. But fear not, for we stand on the shoulders of giants, the architects of liberty and the defenders of tradition. Our conservative rules and values, individual freedom, limited government, and reference for our Constitution are no relics of the past. They are the bedrock upon what America was built. And as the tides of progression surge, we must plant our feet firmly and declare enough is enough. So let's talk a little bit about the borders. Yes, there's an imaginary lines that define our sovereignty. Some say they're outdated, that we should tear them down in the name of global unity. But I say, hold the line. Our borders are not just lines on a map. They are the guardians of our security, our culture, and identity. Now, what about free speech? It's under assault. My friends, cancel culture prowls the streets, seeking to silence dissenting voices. But we won't be muzzled. We'll shout out our convictions from the rooftops, defending the right to express unpopular opinions, even if it ruffles some feathers. Now let's address the fiscal responsibilities. Our nation's death spiral is out of control, like a runaway train. But we're not passengers, we're the conductors. It's time to slam on them brakes, cut wasteful spending, and remind our elected officials that they work for us and not the other way around. And now don't get me started on the Second Amendment. I have the right to bear arms. Is it negotiable? It's not about hunting. It's about safeguarding our families, our homes, and our liberty. So when they say guns kill people, retort, no, tyrants kill people, and they kill freedom. So in conclusion, my fellow conservatives, let's rally together. Let's be the torchbearers of timeless principles. Let's engage in respectful debates, armed with facts and reason. Because when the dust settles, it won't be the loudest voice that prevails. It'll be the one grounded in truth. So grab your pocket constitution, raise your Gadsden flag, and let's march forward. The Conservative Viewpoint isn't just a podcast, it's a call to action. And remember, when the storm clouds gather, we'll be the lighthouse guiding America back to its conservative roots. Well, I hope everybody's having a good Friday. I hope you have some good plans for the weekend. It's Kentucky Derby time. Started today. Hope you guys are going to be watching the Kentucky Derby. The Kentucky Oaks went off just a little while ago before I came down here. But I still hope you guys, well, it's supposed to rain here in Pennsylvania, so that'll suck.
Yeah, for like the next 10 days is what I'm hearing.
But I hope you guys still have a good weekend anyways. And again, I'll start off with asking you guys about checking out our Rumble pages. Again, mine is Country Conservative, and Brendan's is The Brendan Statler Show. Now, like I say every night, check out our videos, share them with your friends and family, even those idiot liberals out there. Let's try to wake them up and have them see the truth of what's going on in this country. And also remember, I'm going to put that link in chat again. If any of you guys got the cojones to click on it, come in, ask questions, make comments. You know, just give us your opinion of what's going on, or if you want to make an opinion about our show, that's fine. Even if it's a bad opinion, that's fine. That helps us improve it. Now, I know you guys might be nervous about clicking on that link. I'm nervous every night I come on here, hoping I don't screw up so bad or bore you guys too much with the news that we bring you. But we're here to bring you the truth, and that's our main goal. So don't hesitate. Click on that link. Come on, ask your questions, make a comment, just to say hi if you want. We're fine with that. So if there's nothing else, let's get this show on the road. What's going on, Brendan?
Well, I wanted to start off tonight's show with a little bit of uplifting news. It's not too often we talk about that here. Most of the news we talk about is troubling at times, although it is important. The stuff we talk about, it can get people down sometimes. So everybody has been paying attention to the pro-Palestinian protests, or as I like to call them, riots, on many major college campuses throughout the nation. And many of you, I'm sure, have seen the pro-American students at the University of North Carolina that took the Palestinian flag down that was flying over the campus of the University of North Carolina and instead raised the American flag. I think we played that video on our video yesterday. I believe it was yesterday. But it appears that this group of students in North Carolina have unknowingly set a trend throughout the rest of the nation. We are starting to see many pro-American, pro-Trump counter protests at many of these colleges. To start off, at the George Washington University, pro-American counter-protesters had hung a huge American flag from a building that was overlooking the pro-Palestinian, pro-terrorist rioters, just to taunt them. I wish we would have included that picture in that, because it is kind of a cool picture to look at, this flag hanging over this pro-terrorist crowd. A video I want to play for you guys real quick is a video from Ole Miss University of the pro-American counter protests. Let's play that.
We want Trump. I like that one.
Yeah, that's massive numbers. That easily drowns out the terrorist sympathizers that were there, causing trouble there at Ole Miss. Another video I have for you guys here real quick. Let's take a look at what has been happening on LSU's campus, Louisiana State University. Let's play it.
USA! 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 USA!
Courage is contagious. That's what we all need to take from this. There are many people, particularly in my age group, that were quiet for quite some time, that didn't want to say anything because they're afraid of being labeled, whether it's racist, homophobic, xenophobic, or whatever other liberal buzzword the left wants to throw out. People in my age group are starting to recognize if we don't fight back against this, we're not going to have a country much longer. And this is only going to continue to grow, particularly with people 35 and under. They're going to start to get more vocal. People need to understand this on the left. MAGA is going to continue to grow. We're done being quiet. We're not going away. We're going to fight like hell to take back our country. We're going to fight with everything we have to preserve this country. And we're not going away. We're not giving up, and we're never going to give up. And that's the message that we need to take from this. I really believe, as dark as things look sometimes, I believe we are on the cusp of many prosperous years in the near future. We're going to have to go through a little bit more hell to get there, but I think great days are ahead for the United States of America. We just got to continue to put our shoulder to the wheel and fight.
Yep, get that right. But with what Biden is doing, and you won't believe this, but we're going to get into this right off the bat because this kind of irks me off. Now, with DHS documents reveal where paroled illegal immigrants under Biden's flight program are landing. And I'm going to let you watch this video and let them tell you about this because this pisses me off more than ever. You're going to see where these people are actually going to, too. Listen to this.
We are getting a better picture now of how a signature Biden administration immigration policy is carried out. Fox News obtained Department of Homeland Security documents that break down the asylum seekers parole program. The program allows up to 30,000 asylum seekers every month to be flown to the U.S. from 4 countries: Venezuela, Nicaragua, Haiti, and Cuba. Fox's Bill Malugin reports.
For the very first time, internal DHS data reveals the U.S. cities that hundreds of thousands of Cuban, Haitian, Nicaraguan, and Venezuelan migrants have flown into via a controversial mass parole program created by the Biden administration. The DHS data was obtained via subpoena by the House Homeland Security Committee, which provided it exclusively to Fox News. The data reveals that from January through August 2023, about 200,000 migrants flew into the U.S. via the Biden parole program. This is a breakdown of the top 15 U.S. cities those migrants flew into and how many arrived. The destinations include multiple cities in Florida, New York City, Los Angeles, Dallas and Houston, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Chicago, and Las Vegas. More than 161,000 migrants flew into 4 of Florida's major airports in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, and Tampa Bay. That means Florida received 80% of all the migrant flights during those 8 months. In a statement to Fox News, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' office reacted, saying, quote, "Biden's parole program is unlawful and constitutes an abuse of constitutional authority. Florida is currently suing Biden to shut it down, and we believe that we will prevail." House Homeland Security Committee Chairman Mark Green claims the migrants on these flights have no legal basis to be in the U.S.
The laws passed by the Congress have said these people are inadmissible, and so they've created a program to try to get around those laws. By their own admission, they're breaking the law.
Bill Malugin, Fox News.
Now, he's flying these people in on our taxpayer money. This is the kind of stuff that we have to get stopped because they can't vet these people properly. And how many known terrorists are coming in here that they don't know about and they won't tell us about? Because once again, this is all by design to destroy our country by the corrupt Democrat Party. Now, there's a whole list of these, and I counted, and there's actually 45 states where they have shipped these illegals to it around our country. They're trafficking these people, and half of them could be terrorists, but they don't know. They don't even have a clue. So that's why I tell you guys about November 5th. These people have to be stopped because tyranny is out of control right now. And if you don't think tyranny is here, well, get back to your basements with your crayon, sucking your thumb, and go change your diaper because it's true. The government is tyrannical.
Yeah, and I think the even more frightening number, you talked about the numbers that got away that
Right.
they don't know about. I think the even more frightening number is how many terrorists got away that the Biden regime knows about, but has done nothing about and has hid it from the public. You know, that number's got to be staggering. They know where many of these people are, if we're being honest, if not all of them. You know, nothing gets by these people. These aren't stupid people we're dealing with, other than Biden, of course.
Sure.
This is an invasion that they have created. This is what they've wanted. You know, that this is something we mentioned quite a bit on this show, is that this is a crisis that they created. It was all by design. And, you know, this is why we're such in a vulnerable position, is because of Biden's open border, but yet we have still seen No action from the Republicans, and we shouldn't expect to anytime soon, if ever, honestly, because they should have taken action on the border right away, and they haven't. But this is why we're in such a dangerous spot. If this is not a reason to vote these people out, just the border alone, the border and the economy, those should be the two main issues. And if you look at these blue cities, particularly New York City, I think New York is very much in play for Donald Trump this election. And the two reasons, the border and the economy, because not only are we paying to fly these people in, the taxpayers are paying to fly these people in. We're putting them in fancy hotels. We're getting them free Xboxes, free food.
They get more than what our Americans get.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're getting everything you can think of. Well, look at those motorized scooters they had there in New York that they could just take and go wherever they want. That was taxpayer funded. These debit cards they're getting are also taxpayer funded. They're getting free everything on our dime, and I don't care what your views are politically. That should piss you off, even if you're completely left and you hate MAGA, you hate Donald Trump, you hate everybody on the right. That alone should piss you off.
Big time.
The fact that you're paying for these people, you're struggling to get by. I don't care what side you are on the political spectrum. You are struggling to just survive in this country now.
Yep.
But these people that shouldn't even be here are getting everything handed to them, and you're paying for it. How does that not piss you off?
Yep. Now we're going to look at the Republicans now. You know what our Republican Party is like right now. But they're seeking to prevent Biden from importing these Palestinians into the U.S. But we know so well how the Republicans get things done when it comes to Joe Biden and the Democrats. But I got a video to show you about them talking about the Republicans and what they're trying to do. So take a look at this.
CBS News has obtained internal federal documents that say that the Biden administration could allow some Palestinian refugees to enter the United States.
Now, this plan would provide a safe haven for certain people looking to flee Gaza. CBS News immigration reporter Camilo Montoya Galvez was the first to report this scoop. Camilo, what more do we know about this plan and who exactly it would apply to?
Errol, the Biden administration for the past weeks has been discussing several policy options to resettle and welcome some Palestinian refugees fleeing the war in Gaza. That is according to internal documents that we obtained here at CBS News. We know that one of the plan involves officials now vetting refugees in Egypt. These are Palestinians with American citizen or resident family members who have been able to get out of Gaza and vetting them there in Egypt and then processing them into the U.S. under the traditional refugee resettlement program. Another proposal, Errol, involves getting additional Palestinians out of war-torn Gaza and then processing them again as refugees. We understand that this potential eligible population is fairly narrow and relatively small, but they would come to the U.S. through the refugees status, and that would allow them to access permanent residence here in the U.S. It would place them on a pathway to U.S. citizenship, and also importantly would make them eligible for refugee resettlement benefits, including food stamps and housing assistance.
Yeah, you heard that, right? But it seems like nothing seems to work when the Republicans say that they're going to do something. They show us or they'll tell us that they have all this evidence, like against Joe Biden and the Democrats, that they're doing something illegal. And then they make a big spectacle of it, and then they end up doing nothing. So this is just something else for us to sit back, watch, and see if actually anything's going, they're going to do something or accomplish anything when they hold the majority right now. So if they're going to do something, this is the time to do it, not wait until they lose the majority or the House or the speakership. If Marjorie Taylor Greene goes through with this shit next week, and I hope to hell she doesn't, but they're taking a chance of losing it. And you have a couple idiot Republicans coming out and say, well, who cares if Hakeem Jeffries is speaker? Well, we do. because they control. If they control the House, they control it all, and they can do what they want with what they want anytime they want. So this is what we're trying to stop and we're trying to avoid.
Yeah, well, I think the Democrats kind of already control the House. I mean, we really it's the Uniparty that controls the House right now, and really the entire Washington apparatus. If we're being honest, all these people are on the same team. The reason the Republicans haven't done anything when it comes to the border and won't do anything about this pertaining to the border is because the Republicans want this to happen too. It is the globalist movement. It's the one world government. And if you don't have borders, you don't have a country. I mean, that goes without saying. If you don't have borders and you invite the whole world into your nation, it's no longer your nation. And this is what they've wanted for a long time. Remember, the first, at least the first person to my knowledge, that really mentioned the New World Order was George H.W. Bush in his infamous speech where he said the phrase New World Order. We've all heard this speech. This is something that's been in the works for a very long time from both the Republicans and the Democrats. They don't want American independence. They don't want us to be a sovereign nation. They want the globalist New World Order, and that is why they're allowing this invasion, so they can have power forever. That's what it comes down to. Everything they do is motivated by their will to keep power and hold on to it forever.
Oh, most definitely. That's definitely what their plan is, and that's something we have to get stopped.
Yep.
But now I've got something interesting for you guys if you haven't seen this yet. But the October 7th terror attack victims in Israel have filed suit against several U.S. groups alleging collaboration with Hamas. Yes, you heard me right. These victims are going to sue U.S. groups that claim they have been collaborating with Hamas and promoting terrorist organization propaganda in the United States. Now, the lawsuit seeks compensatory damages for 9 Americans and Israeli victims of the attack in which Hamas killed 1,200 people and took 240 people hostage. Now, they allege that the AMP and the NSJP worked in the United States as collaborators and propagandists for Hamas. Now, Hamas is currently considered the U.S. designated foreign terrorist organization, but it doesn't stop these idiot college kids from praising Hamas after Hamas committed genocide against their own Palestinian people. Now, every one of these kids needs to sent with a one-way ticket back to Gaza, let them live there for a while, and see how they're treated by these people. And they would definitely not be supporting Hamas after that.
No, absolutely not. Particularly the Gays for Gaza group. We see plenty of those. They would be thrown off buildings and beheaded over there. But really, many of them would be killed just for being Americans as soon as they found out they were Americans. You know, this is not a group that you want to support if you're an American. I mean, they hate every one of us. We know this. So, and what it really comes down to, these people don't actually believe the stuff they're saying. They don't actually believe there is a genocide going on. They're being paid to do it, and a lot of them are just following the crowd because it's the thing to do right now. It's the trend, if you will. That's just what all the quote unquote cool people are doing now. Yeah. It's just everybody wants to be part of a group, and you know, quite a few of them are getting paid. I mean, they all happen to have matching tents at all these different universities. They all have the same tent. It's so coincidental. It's almost like George Soros or somebody like that's paying, is funding these riots on college campuses or something.
Well, I did hear today that he was.
Just thinking, just thinking off the top of my head that might be a possibility.
That's a definite possibility. I heard that today. when I was watching a couple of my shows, and they brought it up, and they had a good sources told them that this was a source-funded operation, and they
Yeah.
started it before this even come out. He's funding them to go out and do this, and that's exactly, you were right when you said it the other day. And he is the one that's funding this stuff. That's the other said back to the country that kicked him out and get him the hell out of our country.
Yeah, he also funded the Floydapalooza riots in 2020.
Yeah,
and
get his little bitch boy the hell out of here.
Yep, absolutely. I agree.
And now we got one. This is a good one for Trump. Trump is going to attend a Libertarian National Convention. Now, it might give him an even larger advantage over Biden in the November 5th general election. Now, before we get into this too far, I'm going to let you watch this video because this is interesting, and we'll explain more after we watch this. So take a look at this.
Former President Donald Trump has agreed to speak to my people at the Libertarian National Convention, marking the first time current GOP presidential candidate has spoken at this event. President Biden and presidential candidate RFK Jr. were also invited to speak. Neither have agreed to do so thus far. Chair of the National Libertarian Party, Angela McArdle, released a statement celebrating this news of Trump accepting the opportunity to speak. She said, "For 50 years, we've been trying to get our candidates on the main stage with major party POTUS candidates, and we finally succeeded in bringing one to our stage. We will do everything in our power to use this incredible opportunity to advance the message of liberty."
But not all libertarians are so excited. The reasons Liz Wolfe tweeted, quote, "He's not a libertarian. His first term was not some giant win for liberty. He shouldn't be perceived as associated with libertarianism, and this is merely an opportunity for him to bloviate and or pander. How the hell is this a win?"
Now, that bitch don't even know anything about Trump if she's saying something like that. That pisses me off, where they don't even want to listen and take it out of their head because they're brainwashed too. But this is part of Trump accepted his invitation to speak, and it's huge for him, and it's a very smart move for him because, like that guy said, it's the first time they ever got somebody to come there, a political candidate, because both Joe Biden and RFK both rejected the invitation. That guy said, for now, no, they rejected it outright. They're not even going to show up. So the libertarians should see this and say, well, shit, if they can't come here and see us, they don't give a shit about us. Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about us. If you're a vote, that's all you are. They don't give two shits one way or the other. As long as you vote for them, they're fine with it.
That's right. And this is a brilliant move by Trump and his team because elections, general elections, I mean, are won and lost when it comes to independent voters, because very rarely are you going to have a Republican voter vote for the Democrat and vice versa. You know, you have some instances where it happens, but not enough to make a huge difference. You know, most voters will vote for the party that they're registered with. It's the independent voters is where the focus should be in a general election, and Trump is capitalizing on that opportunity with this. I mean, this is going to do very well for him. The more independent, libertarian groups, whatever you want to call them, he meets with, the more that he's going to pull in front of not only Biden, but RFK Jr. as well, because RFK Jr. is doing fairly well with independent voters.
Yeah,
and Trump
15%.
Yeah, and Trump is going to have to take some of those votes off RFK, you know, so it doesn't hurt Trump and we get stuck with Biden again for another 4 years. So this is a brilliant move by the Trump team doing this, and this is why I've even floated the idea, and not just me, other people far smarter than I am have also suggested this. Charlie Kirk was one of them, actually. I don't know if this is something that Trump has considered, but I would consider, if I was Trump, picking Tucker Carlson as my running mate, because Tucker Carlson is incredibly popular with independent voters. I think that would sway a lot of independent voters to vote for Trump.
Oh, I bet you.
I bet it would.
I wouldn't doubt that a bit. Now, if you guys are looking and you can watch our ticker at the bottom, you'll see our email on there. It's conservativeviewpoint@yahoo.com. Feel free to email, comment, whatever you want. If you have any questions or if you have any advice on the show, give it. We're all willing to work with that. Now, if this time does not good for most of you guys, let us know a time that is good and more flexible. We'll change up if we have to get more viewers to come in. Whatever it takes for you guys. That's why we do this, for you guys. So now let's get into this. Donald Trump takes radicalism out of the Democrat on abortion, treading into a topic Democrats use as an election weapon against conservatives. Presumptive Republican nominee Trump warned pro-life conservatives seeking to restrict abortions. And this is what you got to watch. You got to hear from him himself. Watch this. This is about, I think it's only 28 seconds. Real short clip. Listen to this.
When it comes to abortion, Democrats, and you know this, you've seen what's happened. Democrats have embraced the most radical and extreme positions taken and seen in this country for years and decades, and you could even say for centuries. Nearly every top Democrat in Congress now supports taxpayer-funded abortion all the way up until the moment of birth.
Now, a quote from Trump. Now, he said, remember, this is a politician saying this, so you have to have a heart. You have to have what your heart determines, and you have to fight for what's in your heart and what's the right thing to do. But remember, you also have to get elected. Trump told this on Wednesday's rally in Freeland, Michigan. But now, he's right. Democrats use this abortion bullshit for political gain to try to earn votes. And these women think that's the only way that they can get health care because from listening to them, and to get an abortion because they're lazy and they don't want to use protection during sex. Because I do believe that abortions are necessary in certain circumstances, like rape, incest, if the mother's life's in danger, or if the baby's going to come out like deformed or something and they know it, missing limbs or part of his head, whatever it is. I do believe abortions for those conditions, not because you want to be irresponsible and not take precaution when you're having sex. So that's something I don't agree with whatsoever.
Absolutely.
I did find this topic, pretty interesting. So that's why I wanted to bring it out to you, because and I think, Brendan, didn't you say you believe that too?
Yeah, I believe that. I think this is the message that Trump is driving is we basically want to meet in the middle. The Democrats have taken it so far to the left, so extreme that they want to do it up to the moment of birth, and in some cases, partial birth abortions where the baby is partially born, still attached to the mother, but partially born, and then they abort it there. I mean, that's way too extreme. There's no scenario where that should be happening. But at the same time, we don't want to take the position like some establishment Republicans like Lindsey Graham have tried to take in banning abortion completely. Trump's message, and this is, how I view it as well, is let's compromise, let's meet in the middle, let's talk and let's meet in the middle. Let's come to an agreement on something that's good for both sides. Let's not be too extreme one way or the other. My position on it is this. I agree with everything you just said. Basically, all I want to see change is make it illegal for people to use it as a form of birth control. You should not be able to walk in and get an abortion without a good excuse for doing so. If you have a legitimate excuse for doing so, like you said, life of the mother, serious deformity of the child, where the child would live an absolute miserable life, incest, rape, all these scenarios we laid out. Okay, I get it. I can live with that. And, I think the majority of Americans feel that way, but just to kill an unborn child for no reason because you were irresponsible, that's not acceptable.
Nope, not at all. But now I got an interesting article here today I was reading up on now. The records show that National Archives officials met with Joe Biden White House counsel the day of the indictment against Donald Trump.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, the White House visitor log showed other National Archives officials visited the Biden administration and their officials throughout these earliest stages of the probe into President Trump. White House officials met with National Archives on at least 19 other occasions. This is why we have said from day one of him getting installed into the White House like a toilet that the man is a lying, plagiaristic, kid-sniffing, women-filling, mashed potato for brains idiot. And all he does is lie, right? So I got a little video here, real short one for you. You got to listen to this, and you can tell.
Mr. President, what do you say to Americans to convince them that they should trust the independence and fairness of the Justice Department when your predecessor, Donald Trump, repeatedly attacks it?
Because you notice, I have never once, not one single time, suggested to the Justice Department what they should do or not do relative to bringing a charge or not bringing a charge. I'm honest.
Now, that's exactly when you know you can't trust a politician. When he says, I'm honest. Yeah, right. That piece of shit. Now, I saw a video, and I can't remember who showed it. It was Dan Bongino or somebody that showed him back in the day when he was first getting into the politics, 50 years ago. And it showed him on there. And the guy, the journalist that was interviewing him said to him, well, you're about the only honest politician there is. And he sat there and looked at him and said, I'm not honest. He said this, and I couldn't find the clip anywhere. But you know what? There ain't no politician that's honest. I'm sorry. They all lie.
No, there's not. And in all fairness, Joe Biden probably isn't lying in this scenario because I don't think his stupid ass in the state he's in is capable of picking up the phone and having a conversation like that with any of these people saying to go after Trump. But it doesn't mean that his puppet masters didn't do it. Like we all know what happened. It's a politician answer. I didn't instruct anyone to go after Trump.
Yeah, right.
But Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, the two that are really in charge, did.
Yeah.
But that's a politician answer.
Oh, yeah.
We all know that this guy is corrupt. He's just so feeble and just demented at this point. I don't think he's capable of instructing anyone to do anything. So, I could believe that he didn't actually tell them himself to do it, but I believe Obama and Hillary Clinton did.
Well, yeah, the only thing he can do is read the teleprompter.
Yeah, and you're right. Anytime the media tries to drive the narrative of a certain politician being honest and being, they say all these nice things about him, those people always turn out to be the biggest pieces of shit, because that's the media, that it's all, they're all a bunch of liars, just to put it nicely. Everything the media says, just assume the exact opposite.
Well, that's what I saw that on the Drew Barrymore show. She had Kamala Harris on there. And
I wanted to throw up when I saw that.
Did you see that? I
can't stand Drew Barrymore after that. God.
I used to love her, watching her shows and stuff.
Yeah, I know.
I saw that. We need a mother. We need Mama to come on.
Mama.
Oh,
I'm like,
God.
Jesus Christ.
And she says that her kids call her Mama. I can't tell her to get your knee pads on and get the hell out of here. Oh my God. I just could not stand this shit. And this is like, these people want to try to talk her up and talk Mama to America. Kiss my ass and go away. That's crazy. Yeah. But even with this, I want you guys, this article, it's taken him long enough, but finally has spoke out about the terrorist sympathizers at the college campuses. Now, this video is only 34 seconds long, but you got to watch this pathetic excuse of a man addressing these protesters. And just watch, look at his face, look at everything. This is the saddest piece of work I've ever seen. Take a look at this.
I understand people have strong feelings and deep convictions. In America, we respect the right and protect the right for them to express that. But it doesn't mean anything goes. It needs to be done without violence, without destruction, without hate, and within the law. You know, make no mistake, as president, I will always defend free speech. And I will always be just as strong in standing up for the rule of law. That's my responsibility to you, the American people, and my obligation to the Constitution.
Oh my God. Did you look at his face? This man looks like a zombie character from The Walking Dead. And he was definitely sure to hell wasn't convincing what he said. It's just like him, and we said this yesterday, telling our enemies, don't. And I'm pretty sure that the kids don't give two shits about what this demented old fool has to say. So do you wonder why we're laughing stock in the world? This is why, right there.
Yeah, nobody respects this guy like we talked about. I wish we would have included this this video. Actually, I can't remember if I sent this to you or not, but it was one of the counter protests. It was the the pro America side on one and the pro terrorists on the other side. They did find there was one instance where they showed some unity. They were both chanting "F Joe Biden."
Oh yeah.
Like nobody likes this guy. Nobody respects him anywhere in the world. This guy is an absolute joke. He gets up there, and like you said, he looks like a zombie. They look like they dug up a corpse in the cemetery and just put him in front of a podium and had him read off a teleprompter. This guy's just
what's up with his eyes too.
Yeah, I know. It looks. That's why I said it looks like they just pulled him out. Yeah, they look like they just pulled him out of a coffin. It's like that. Yeah. That's the guy that's supposed to be speaking on behalf of this nation.
Oh, that's pathetic. Just to even look at him.
Yeah, no wonder the rest of the world's laughing at us. That's the guy you have speaking, representing your nation at the moment. But he says this stuff. He doesn't really mean it. He's taking the coward's way out. They're trying to play both sides of this because they want the pro-terrorists to vote for him, but they also want to act like they're on the side of Israel because there are a lot of Jewish donors that donate to the Democrat Party, and they're trying to win those people back because they want their money. And they also want the Jewish Americans to vote for him. And the Jewish Americans are traditionally, not in all cases, but in most cases, are traditionally liberal. So they're trying to play both ends of this. And this is the pathetic display. This is what brings out this pathetic display you just played.
Yeah. Now you're talking about pathetic. We're going to talk about these. I got two of them. These are from yesterday we didn't get to, but this first one is really pathetic. AOC is criticizing Mayor Eric Adams over the Columbia University's NYPD raid. And she said in a tweet, and remember that I am no fan of either one of them, AOC, Donkey, Miss Donkey herself, and the corrupt Adams of New York. They are both two worthless pieces of shit.
Speaking of Kentucky Derby coming up, she kind of looks like she kind of looks like
she should be leading the pack.
yeah, she kind of looks like Seabiscuit.
There you go. But these are worthless Democrats, and I could care less about them. But AOC posted on X, which referred to the remarks made by Adams during the press conference earlier in the week, which he said that the protests at the Columbia University had been co-opted by professional outside agitators. Now, if you guys watched that, or if you were on my live stream when that was going on, when they brought that big truck through and the ladder and stuff, they had to break into the building that they took over and held hostage those three janitors. Now, she posted a tweet and said, if any kid is hurt tonight, responsibility will fall on the mayor and the university president. Then she goes on to say that the leaders in the schools and other schools have found safe de-escalatory paths And this is the opposite of leadership and endangers public safety. And she said, a nightmare in the making. I urge the mayor to reverse course. Are you kidding me? She has not been paying attention. These kids are destroying college campuses, and every college has brought in the police to quell the violence and the chaos that's going on. She is as dumb as she looks. She just wants to get on TV, sit there, run her mouth, and show her donkey teeth to the public and show how stupid she actually is. Because they've all done exactly what New York did. They brought in the cops. What was it, US or UCLA or whatever the hell it was?
Yeah, UCLA. There were a handful, but yeah, they were. Yeah, UCLA was the other big one.
They were slamming people. You had those idiot kids come out with half garbage cans, thinking they're gonna be shielded for those cops slammed them down, and a couple outside guys helped them and threw them back into the cops. And she's as stupid as she looks, because this woman couldn't even balance a checkbook, and she's on the finance committee in the government.
Yeah, DEI didn't earn it. I think AOC should be going back to waiting tables, but she's probably even too stupid to do that if we're being honest.
Well, she was a bar wench.
Yeah, well, that too. Yeah. She would screw that up too, but
probably.
But anyway, it just either she's just outright lying or she truly doesn't know what she's talking about, because she's saying she's so concerned about the safety of these terrorist supporters. Yeah, she's saying she's so concerned about them and doesn't want anyone to get hurt. Well, this is the same group that was holding janitors hostage. That's the whole reason that the police raided the place. This is the same group and this is the same group that has been threatening Jewish students and not letting them attend class. It's just, where is your support for the Jewish students, AOC? Where's your support for the Jewish students? Why is it that you could discriminate against Jewish people and really white people in general? Why?
I got something real quick for you. Did you see the one where they were asking for food?
No, I didn't see that.
I'm only gonna show part of this, and I wanted to show the first part because you mentioned this. I want you to see this first part, and all you guys, they're actually asking for food. Now, I want you to listen to what this girl has to say. I'm going to stop it in the middle so you can continue what you were saying.
Why should the university be obligated to provide food to people who've taken over a building?
Well, first of all, we're saying that they're obligated to provide food to students who pay for a meal plan here.
But you mentioned that there was a request that food and water be brought in, unless I misunderstood.
To allow it to be brought in. I mean, well, I guess it's ultimately a question of what kind of community and obligation Columbia feels it has to its students.
It seems like you're sort of...
You hear that? They think they're obligated. They have to, after what they're doing, destruction, holding that. That's when they were holding that building.
Yeah,
they climbed into. So, but go ahead. I'm sorry about interrupting you.
Well, you're fine. I mean, this is just liberal logic. I mean, these are the same people that have been bitching nonstop about student loan forgiveness, and it really just means it'll be passed on to every taxpayer. And yet, these people aren't even attending class.
Exactly.
Instead, they're sleeping in tents on campus and protesting and threatening Jewish students all throughout the day, but they still want their debt forgiven and they want food and water brought to them. It's just liberal logic. It's a mental disorder. But it's just, this is, like I said, this is the same group that's threatening Jewish students, was holding janitors hostage. And of course, AOC, like many of the Democrats do, because they are the terrorist party now, come out in support of the terrorists. And this is why anybody that continues to vote Democrat, you need to pull your head clean out of your ass. Like me and Charlie say every show, the Republicans suck too, but man, the Democrat Party is just too far gone. I don't know how anybody could vote Democrat anymore.
No kidding. Now, I think this is going to be our last subject here. Now, the House has approved in January, they approved to expand at their interviews for January 6th with Pentagon officials and Democrat staff they want to interview. Now, here we go again. The House of Republicans are still investigating January 6th committee when they already have enough evidence to convict this committee on falsifying evidence, destruction of evidence, impeding an investigation? With the falsifying of evidence, they put sound to a non-sounding Capitol cameras. That's falsifying evidence right there, tampering with evidence. So why don't they just go ahead and hold these people accountable for that alone?
Yeah,
Instead,
absolutely.
Instead, again, they're just holding hearings, sending out letters. It's about time to hold somebody accountable. So let's get something done. The do nothing Republicans. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't believe they're going to do anything, and the reason is this. The obvious reason is we got plenty of other instances where they've completely screwed us that we could go off of. So if past history dictates, but when Kevin McCarthy was Speaker, he released some of the tapes to Tucker Carlson, as you remember. This is shortly before Tucker Carlson got the boot at Fox News.
Right.
Well, Kevin McCarthy was supposed to release all the footage after this. He never did.
Nope.
And Mike Johnson made a similar promise when he first got in as Speaker, and it's never even been mentioned again since that point. That is the first thing that they should have done pertaining to January 6th. Release every second of that footage. Put it out there. Let the American people see it and let the American people decide. But you're right. The Kangaroo Court Committee, they added sound to videos for dramatic effects, to put more theatrics in it, as if we needed any more theatrics, as this was all theater, this entire process. But this is what they did. They wanted to do it like a movie trailer, essentially. If you watched any of these sham hearings that were on, but you're right. That's falsifying evidence. They should have paid for this already. But the Republicans, like they always do nothing, haven't held anyone accountable. And I said this when the Republicans took the House, that they should have done this, and of course they never did. I said they need to keep the January 6th committee, but it has to be a legitimate committee this time. Let's let people on both sides speak. Let's air it on every news outlet in the country and let the American people see it completely unfiltered. Let the people arguing for Trump, saying that Trump did not commit insurrection against the United States, to speak, because they never got an opportunity to speak. They were completely shut down. And even let the people that are arguing against Trump, saying that he did incite an insurrection, let them speak. Let both sides speak. Let the American people decide. The Republicans should have done that, and they didn't do it.
That's for sure. Now, I think that's all we have for you today. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the Conservative Viewpoint. And again, please go to our Rumble pages. Mine is Country Conservative. Brendan's the Brendan Statler Show. Check out our videos. Share them with your friends, family. Even your liberals. We don't forget them. We got to put them in there. We can't leave them out. We got to wake these people up somehow. And so again, when I ask you to join us Monday night, same bat channel, same bat time, for another great episode of the Conservative Viewpoint, where we're going to get into things like Comer is wanting to fund or cut funding for some federal agencies, and you got to hear why. We're also going to see stuff like Biden is awarding the Presidential Medal of Freedom. This is one of the highest civilian medal awards you can get. You won't believe who he's giving them to. And we're also going to hear about Trump's lawyer and what he did in court today that had Trump shaking his head. These are just some of the things that you got to look forward to come Monday. Oop, I shut that off. So with another weekend in the books, an interesting one at that, we have to remember, in the arena of ideas, we stand firm. With unwavering resolve, we champion liberty, defend tradition, and uphold the torch of conservatism. As the sun sets on this episode, remember, the battle for America's soul rages on. So, my fellow patriots, keep your voices strong, your convictions on yielding, and your love for this great nation burning bright. So until Monday, stay vigilant, stay informed, and stay conservative. Good night, and have a great weekend.
Good night, everyone. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday. God bless.